Today, I'm turning this paper back into wood. Can I do it? I'm gonna be taking the paper from these 3 packages and just literally gluing them together using wood glue. I'm gonna see if it will turn into something that is basically like wood. Now, I know that whenever you join together 2 pieces of wood with glue, it creates a very tight, strong bond. It's the same thing as if it's wood. I'm just curious to see if I can do that, which will end up making all 3 stacks of paper pretty much half paper and half glue. And I'm curious to see if that is gonna make it as easy to work with, just like a piece of wood. All that I'm doing right now is literally just making markings on my MDF plywood sheet to cut out the same size that I want. That is the shape of the standard printer size sheet of paper. I've made each of these pieces of plywood to be slightly larger than the sheets of paper themselves, hopefully to not have any issues on the edging of the glue up. So let's see if that helps. Now all I have to do is cut out those shapes, and so I'm going to use my miter saw to attempt this. I probably should be wearing these, so it's not a bad idea. Now that I have my 2 end pieces for the glue up, essentially my vision is to literally just put this one on the bottom. Once these are all out and glued up, they're going to be stacked in between. And then just like this, everything all square, glued up, should be good to go. So I have this little tube of Titebond 3. They also have this big gallon, I think it's a gallon, of Titebond 2. So I hope that's enough. It probably will not be, but we will see. Okay, so I'm gonna start by using this mini roller to see if that will be what does the trick by getting a little tray, putting some glue in it, and just sitting here and rolling them one by one to see if that will work. So I started to do the gluing, and man, can I tell you how absolutely long this took. 6 to 7 hours, something like that maybe. It was crazy. Yeah, it just took forever. My back, my neck was aching so bad, but I got it done. And it started to look pretty cool. It was stacking up weird. There's air bubbles. I didn't do it completely correct. But again, like, who wood glues paper? So, you know, it's a learning process, and I've learned some lessons. I've never done anything for this period of time in one place, doing the exact same thing ever before in my life. This has been absolutely crazy. I have like 5 sheets of paper left. I was gonna do 3 packs, but I'm only gonna be doing just the 1, because the 3 packs, it would have been insane. This has probably been 6 to 7 hours or more of my day now. We are going to experiment with what this can do and see what happens. I got a few more pages to go. Let's make it happen. My roller is literally falling apart. It's been rolled out way too long. Come on, baby. Almost done on the home run. This is the last sheet of paper of the 500 pieces of paper that I have sat here all day and rolled together with wood glue to try and have some kind of result. Of course, it's not going to stay wet the whole entire time from the beginning, so some of it's going to dry. It's going to have air pockets. It's going to have problems, but we're going to talk about that. Last but not least, I have glued on the last piece of paper. This is the one that's going to attach to this piece of MDF, which will sandwich it officially together. And this is all part of the gluing process. This is why I'm using these chunks of MDF as so. Wow, this paper is incredibly off from where I started. So we will try our best to just align it with the paper on top, somehow get the pressure correct. I think I might have an idea. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take these two pieces of 2x10s and I'm going to lift up this paper that has been glued together. Ugh. Which, by the way, it is a far more thick stack of papers than the original stack of papers, if you can see there. It is probably not twice as thick, but like 1.5 times as thick. So you can tell this is definitely not flat anymore at all. This thing has gained a huge curve now. My goal is to press it down enough with clamps to make it all be able to be cut into some kind of dimensional cut of lumber or paper mache advancedness. I've been waiting literally hours to be able to do the clamp up. These are not really doing as great as the other ones because these, I guess, aren't for glue ups. These quick clamps are more or less just what they are, just literal quick clamps. But we're gonna find out real quick. We've got a total of 7 clamps on here, and all of them are as tight as I can get them. And we are waiting to see if we're gonna have a good end result or not. I'm probably gonna have to wait for this thing to cure for 1 entire day. So we shall see what happens next. Let's find out what happened with this glue up. I'm pretty stoked. It's been like literally 4 or 5 days now. Does it cut just like wood? Does it act just like wood when it's just a bunch of papers that are glued together with wood glue? Let me try to fix the camera. So as you can see, there's separation like right in here. Of course, I'm new to gluing up in general, and I probably should have had better, more beefy clamps with more beefy clamp power to do this kind of thing, to test it truly, but hey, there's always the future. For now, let's take this over to the trusty miter saw and figure out if we can cut this down to a somewhat normal looking block of wood. Dimensional lumber, I don't know, let's figure it out. The goal is to actually remove the MDF and just have the paper. The MDF was just to help during the glue up process. So I'm gonna try my best to kind of remove that. But first I wanna go around the outside and get all the outsides. It's got like a burning smell because it's paper and it's difficult to cut. It's actually not that simple to cut. It's acting like paper. Kind of smells like I'm roasting a marshmallow. So here's the side that was the edges of all the papers glued up. Okay, so as you can see, of course I have the blade marks on the paper, creating some burn marks. As you can see right here, as I go to try to put this underneath my miter saw, it is far too tall for me to actually miter saw this down. So I'm gonna have to cut this in half so that I can actually do so. This is why I will be doing that next time. As you can see, I'm demonstrating that with my hand right here, and I'm showing you where I'm gonna cut it in this next scene. So cutting paper sideways is almost like cutting ingrain on wood, but it's very soft and it shreds like butter. Yeah, all this shredding in there that's going on is making it almost impossible for my saw to do anything, and I think I might have even dulled my blade like significantly. Unplug this for safety reasons. Every single one of these teeth have this little bit of paper like residue that's sitting on each end, and it's almost like you can see it big time on that one there. It's probably dulling it a little. I don't know, I'll have to like look at it and see. I doubt it. It's just preventing it from doing anything correctly because it has a lot of friction. So not quite like the pine wood we thought we were gonna create. I never thought we would create pine wood, but it is interesting because it almost looks like the end grain of wood, strictly because of the saw creating that arch effect. So it really does look like it's the end grain of wood. In a way, we kind of created wood. It's holding together very, very well. Listen to it. It's like wood. What marks the fact that we've created wood, right? It's very similar, and it's pretty cool. And now we have two of them. You can see right there. It was giving me kickback on that. The result, as you can see, is not wood per se. It is definitely an end grain looking, and I'd say that that's at least something, right? It cuts kind of sort of like wood, but like not really. That's because of all the wood glue. The properties of the paper itself make it complicated to work with. And you can even see like right here at the spacing in between the paper, and if I put pressure on it, it closes it. So not all of this was glued successfully. There are some air pockets in there, but there it is. We created ice cream sandwiches.
6 hours later.
Okay, so I've already messed with this one because I came out here to grab some B-roll for y'all in this video, and they have separated quite a significant amount. You can see this is the one that had the cut in it that I tried to cut where it was kicking back on me with the miter saw. And wow, see all this separation in here? Now, the way I'm about to do this is I'm gonna pull it apart and show you guys just how simple it pulls apart. This was not the case before when I was working on it about 6 hours ago. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. This means that since it was out of clamps for this long, it's separated and there is no integrity with the wood glue like I thought there'd be on paper. Look at that, that was with one hand that I did that. That's pretty crazy. Wow. I cannot make anything out of this because, guys, it's not wood. It's just paper that was glued up with wood glue, and it did not turn out to be the way I thought it would. Case closed. Not wood.